Hey guys, it's Morgan Zegers, and you need to hear this. A very powerful person in international politics just called for the Nuremberg Code to be thrown out. Yeah, you heard me right there. First, let's recap what the Nuremberg Code is. It was enacted in 1947 after World War II to make sure that human rights abuses carried out by the Nazis and the Imperial Japanese do not happen again. Some of these actions included things like non-consensual medical procedures. The language of the Nuremberg Code, when it comes to permissible medical experiments, says, quote, "The voluntary consent of the human subject is absolutely essential. This means that the person involved should have legal capacity to give consent, should be so situated as to be able to exercise free power of choice without the intervention of any element of force, fraud, deceit, duress, overreaching, or other ulterior form of constraint or coercion." End quote. Now, if you ask me, what's happening with these mandates for the vaccine certainly is not consensual and has a whole lot of people agreeing to take this vaccine, not because they desire it, but because the governments around the world, including the one in America, have either made it mandatory or used forms of coercion to basically force us into it. Basically, vaccine passports, mandates, and fines are all violations of the Nuremberg Code. And more specifically, right now we see Germany locking down unvaccinated people as they plan to begin forcing shots. This is only going to get worse. So next, let's talk about which terrifying person is trying to remove this code. Her name is Ursula von der Leyen, and she is the head of the European Union Commission. Last week, she told the media she would like to end the Nuremberg Code so that politicians can force people to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Sounds like a red flag. Ursula was being interviewed by the BBC and told them it was, quote, "understandable and appropriate to consider forcing vaccinations." Now, thank goodness this sparked an uproar across the world. I saw one person on Twitter say, quote, "The only reason to get rid of the post-Nazi Nuremberg Code is so that you can do some Nazi shit." But my favorite one came from a man named Graham Kemp, who wrote, quote, "Having no plans to make vaccines mandatory is an inadequate response from the government. The correct response is we would never do that. It is fascist, breaches the Nuremberg Code, and is an abhorrent suggestion in a civilized society. It shows how far they have sunk." End quote. I couldn't agree more. It is such a good point, and oh my goodness, I can't believe we've gotten to this point now.